What's going on, everybody? I'm JBM with JBM Design Company, and today I'll be doing a 2-color screen print job for a local auto repair shop. I may or may not do a white underbase. We'll see how it turns out, but I'll also be doing sublimation to key rings as merch for that auto repair shop. So if you want to see how it turns out, stick around. Alright, so the first thing that I need to do is line up my screens. This is how I burn the image into my screen. And this is the first screen that I've done. This one's pretty much lined up. The nightmare is going to come trying to line up the rest of them. So I'm just going to leave this down, and as I pull out the screens, I'm going to lay it on here and see how everything lines up. The next one should be my silver. And just looking at this one, it is not lined up. It's slightly off. But the registration on this is so difficult to work with. All I do is basically loosen up everything, manually adjust it how I want it, and then I tighten it down, because the micro registration that this screen print press is supposed to have does not work out the best for me. So let me come to this side, as long as I'm not blocking the camera. So I'll loosen it. I don't know if you can see on the screen, but I can basically move this all around. I'll look at it, get it set how I want it. And it looks perfect right where it's at. Then I'll just tighten it down. That's what works best for me. Until I can upgrade. Alright, so here's the last screen. This screen is the one that I'm going to do a color change on. Alright, so now that I got my screen set, the next thing to do is get these screens taped, going around, mix up my ink, and then do the test print. Alright, so one thing that I messed up on this job when it comes to burning my screens is that I burned 2 of the same images that I did on the first screen. This is supposed to be my underbase screen. I also printed it on another screen because I forgot to take the transparent film off and swap it out. Instead of washing this screen out or trying to reburn another screen, what I decided to do was to just tape off what I do not want the ink to pass through. So that's one of the things I messed up so far. So that's what I'm going to do. The bad news, more bad news on top of that, is I was going to use this cheap tape to tape off those areas, but now I have to use this tape, which I don't want to, but oh well, it helps get the job done and will save time rather than trying to burn another screen and waiting for that time to pass. Alright, so I got my screens taped up and I kind of went OD on the tape, but I also noticed that for the front print of the shirt, I'm probably not going to do an underbase because on the screen, this one in particular, the image didn't burn through completely. So I'm not going to be doing an underbase for that. So I'm just loading up this screen right here. I got a kid's shirt. It's just an extra shirt in my spare t-shirt bin. And I'm printing 2 color shirts. I'm doing blue shirts and I'm also doing black shirts. So we're gonna see how this underbase holds up. And I'm not trying to get a real thick underbase. I just kind of want to, you know, mat those fibers down, lighten up the background for the other colors that I have to print. So if this does not look that good, and this white ink is still thick, like I've been mixing it for a while. I don't use one of those drills and put it in the ink and start spinning it around. I don't do that. I can put in some, what do you call that, solution to make the ink thinner. I do have a little bit of that, but only downside of that is this, only downside is I can't put that ink back in here if I decide I don't want to use the white ink. I basically got to throw it in the trash. And this ink is very thick still. So like I said, I may use underbase, I may not. We will see. All right, come on now. And I'm doing this with the Wilflex Epic Polywhite. Reason being is because I just have more of it. Oh yeah, that's thick. So it is going through the shirt, which is good. It's not too much, not too heavy, not bad. The problem is going to come when it comes to lining up the print. All right, so I printed the white ink. It's still very thick, still very tacky. I got it up under the flash dryer to try to dry it to the touch. The second option is to just go straight with I'm doing a silver color and then I'm doing a green color on this screen. The option is to just go straight silver, straight green, no underbase. The deciding factor on that is going to see how it lines up to this white ink. If for any reason the white ink still comes through, I am not doing an underbase because trying to set the registration on this press is a nightmare. Another way to fix that will be in the software, which I use Illustrator and Photoshop, but in Illustrator you can make an offset. You know, make your underbase slightly thinner than the actual colors you're going to print so that the colors can kind of like overlap. It's easier to explain when I'm actually doing it. And this is pretty dry to the touch. The print looks terrible, but as long as it doesn't overlap, which I feel like it may. If it doesn't overlap, I'll still use it. So let me get this silver color, which is going to be a lot easier to print with because it's just thinner. Make sure I got enough. I'm doing a run of 20 shirts, so just make sure I got enough ink already on the screen. One thing that'll help with this print is a smash screen, which I don't have set up here yet. I can put one up here, but I'm not worried about it because I'm gonna take everything over to the heat press, and that's how I'm gonna cure it. All right, so I think I got it lined up good enough. However, that white ink is making it, the thickness of the ink coming up off the shirt, to me, is too much. Let me bring you in just a little bit so you can see it. So I don't know how good that comes out. Of course, the white ink it looks terrible because the ink was so thick, it's not able to smooth out. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna print this again with straight silver, no white underbase, and we're gonna see how that turns out. All right, so I went ahead and I pressed this on it, the heat press, and it basically smooths this whole print out. And if you look at it, it looks terrible, I already know. That white underbase, the cracked up car, if that comes through on the camera. But I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna print this without the underbase, and it will look a lot different. I'm gonna go ahead and print the second color as well. All right, so we got our silver. All right, that looks a whole lot cleaner. I'm gonna do a second hit on it. I do notice that I do have my registration mark that's coming through. So while I can see it and remember it, go ahead and cover that up. So that's no longer an issue. And I'm gonna hit this one more time. Now that looks good. Do that, then I'm gonna come around to my second color, which is my green. Go ahead and coat this screen up. Don't have no issues. And we'll see how this lines up. Should be perfect, no issues. And I am using a slightly smaller squeegee, no big deal. I'm just going back and forth because my squeegee is smaller. And there we go. I'm also going to hit that with one more pass. And what I may do, because it's looking like I'm not going to do the white underbase, I'm going to take that other squeegee. Actually, I think I have one. Another long squeegee. Now that I'm starting to print, the ink's getting loose. See, I'm gonna get the bigger or the longer squeegee because as I print on this side, I'm seeing that I'm leaving ink caked up on this side. I'd rather just do it on one pass. But looking at the image, this image is clean. Let me show you this real quick. Y'all can see how clean that looks. And I'm going to press this with the heat press. Put this under the flash one more time. All right. Pull this off, put it on the press, and I'm show you what it looks like back and front. Can't do side to side. All right, so I got both sides pressed. Just to show you what it looks like, here's the first side. When I was trying to do it with the white underbase, I don't like the way it's looking with the white underbase, even though I need to work out, you know, smooth out that white ink, mix it up some more. But this is the other side without using the white underbase. This still comes out nice and smooth. It feels good. All right, so that's that shirt. So now that I know what I'm gonna do, it's time to load up these pallets and get this job knocked out. All right, so I'm done with the first blue shirts. Now it's time to do a color change, but let me show you what I got. Turn this camera around. Here are the blue shirts. Print came out nice and smooth on all of them. Now I'm going to be printing on these black shirts, but instead of printing green, I'll be printing where you see green, I'll be printing that red. So now I got to do a color change. So let me show you how I do that. All right, so I can't leave the mic attached while I do this part because I'm likely to make a mess if the mic happened to get in the ink or anything. So I'm gonna speed up this process, but what I'm doing is I'm clearing off the green ink on this screen, and I'll be using this green chemicals that I got from Ryanette. Basically, I use it to clean the screens quickly for my ink changes. All I did was I took it and put it in a spray bottle like this. And I will be printing this red TexSource ink. The green is actually lava ink. Is that right? Yeah. It's this Wilflex Lava Ryanette neon green ink. That's what this one is. But let me go ahead and swap it out. I'm gonna speed it up for you. All right, so now I'm about to do the left chest press, which is the silver and red on the black shirts. This is just my little test print shirt. I was trying to cheat and just clear off a section of the screen, but I went ahead and cleaned this whole screen and then just taped off the areas so I can just print that left chest section. The red, I'm gonna have to, I didn't really clean it yet because I've already printed red. I just taped off what I don't want to print. When I do need to do my color change, I'm gonna have to clean this whole screen anyway to do that. So I'll wait till I get to that point. But what I'm trying to see if I'm gonna have issue with, as I said earlier, I printed 2 of the same screens, but on that one, part of the image did not wash out when I washed the emulsion out. So on this one, this was my white screen. I'm going to print the full image, and then I'm going to try to print on top of that image to see if I'm gonna have any issues with the registration. I may, if that's the case, then I'm gonna have to go back and start taping stuff up like I did before, but hopefully that's not the case, and we are about to find out. First, let me steal some of the ink off of this screen. All right, so my camera died in the middle of me recording that last shot, so I gotta use my phone, which means the video footage is gonna be kind of shaky and the audio is gonna change, whatever. But I'm gonna turn this camera around and you can see what I've done as far as this print. All right, so here is the finished shirts. I got the backs of them right here. The white one is not a request of the customers. I just wanted to see how it popped off of a white shirt since I did not do the white print underbase. This is basically how the red pops, which is not too different from just printing straight on a black. Then you turn it over. You got your left chest. Alright. So I'm using my phone right now because my other camera battery died. Actually, it filled up on space. But let me know in the comment section down below which y'all think looks better, the green and the silver or the red and the silver. We're just going to take this one out because it's not an option. But between the two, which you think looks best? Put it down in the description down below. Who knows, the owners might look at the video, they might decide to give it away to customers. See what I did there? I done made them think about getting more shirts. Alright, next thing to do is to sublimate on the keychain, which I've already printed one. If I can get it out of the box, I'm holding the camera with one hand. Here we go. Alright, they also got to order these. So I'm about to sublimate the rest of them, and that will be the rest of this order. Alright, so I'm back. I got my camera hooked back up so I don't have to use my phone. What this boils down to is that now I'm in the market for a phone, pretty much. I mean, I'm in the market for a new camera so I can do my stuff. But yeah, now I'm working on these keychains, and I'm printing it out right now if it'll start printing. But this is the keychain as I showed you earlier. If I can get it to focus, there we go. Yeah, that's the keychain. Here is my first attempt at making it. I was trying to test it out, get my temperature, time, and pressure settings right. But if this comes across, all the color did not come out in the transfer. The instructions for this is to print it at 356 degrees Fahrenheit for 45 seconds. I got this from JP Plus. Did I? Yeah, I did. Johnson Plastics Plus. But that's the result of printing it for 356 for 45 seconds on my press. So what I did is I bumped it up to 380 for 60 seconds, and I got pretty much all the color out of the off the transfer paper. Now I actually sent this to my sublimation printer and nothing's printing. I don't know why. I guess I need to check my Wi-Fi to make sure I'm connected to the right network, which I'm not. Let me go ahead and switch and try that again. So yeah, while I'm printing that out, let me go ahead and just explain what you need to do to print these. It comes in these boxes just like this, with nicely stamped "Made in China" right on the top of the box. But this is how they come, in a separate bag with this in it. You would take this out, and these have a plastic film over top of it that you would need to peel off before you print. After you print on it, basically this is a 3M adhesive. Take this, line it up, stick it. This is what you get in the end product. Now I already have all of these already taken out because I got to print 30 of these. So whenever my internet switches and I can print this stuff out, there we go. I can save y'all time by not trying to peel the plastic off, all that stuff on camera. It's already done. So once I get everything printed out, I will be right back. I'm gonna go ahead and take this, flip it over. I'm peeking through without taking the tape off to see how the color has come off, and the color has come off as expected. So I'm gonna peel this off so I can show you. It's hot and I'm not doing it with gloves, but there you go. So to compare it to the other one that I've already put together, which is this one, and you got that one. So directions say 356 or whatever it was, 45 seconds. I just did this at 385 for 60 seconds. This is how it's turning out for me. Now let me just show you how I put one of them together completely, if you've never worked with these before. So I got a box right here. Pop that out. This has a film over top, which is a 3M adhesive. I'm gonna try to get my nail underneath if I can. All right, peel that back. And you want to take this, and it pretty much sits in there perfectly. But am I in frame? All right, you take this, set it in there. And just let it drop. It's better to do it on a flat table or something, flat surface, but there you go. Nice little bottle opener. This is how I'm going to leave it in the package. And close it up. And that's it. So I'm going to go ahead and knock out the other 28 of these. Oh, let me do one more. I said I'm gonna fix this one because I messed it up. So before I stop the camera, here's, I don't know what I got on it. I'm just pretty much scraping whatever this is off. All I did was make it black. All right. So I'm gonna grab this. Do the same thing on this one. Peel this 3M adhesive, line it off, take this, drop it in place, And that's how this one turns out. So basically, if you mess one up, you can just make it completely black, block out the image, whatever you had on there before. What I'm probably going to do is probably get some 651 vinyl, put something on here, and then I'll probably coat it so that it doesn't peel off over time. And I can use this for whatever. So yeah, that's that one. But like I said, I'm gonna knock out the other 28 of these. If you like the video, if you got anything from it, hit that like button, subscribe. As always, be yourself, be your best. I'm JBM, I'm out.